told you how Operation Sindoor's aftermath seems to be leaving Congress split wide open. Today, those divisions have become a massive chasm. On the very day India announced military action on terror camps in Pakistan, Congress leader Shashi Tharoor had spoken to me, lauding the strikes and calling them restrained in the right manner. He's been a vocal supporter of the Modi government, something that has not been sitting right within the Congress. But Tharoor's recent remarks as part of the multi-party delegation have really rattled the Congress, where he praised the 2016 surgical strikes, calling them the first of their kind across the LOC. Tharoor said the country's approach to terrorism had evolved under the current government, and terrorists now understood that any provocation would come at a hefty cost. Udit Raj, Pawan Khera and other Congress leaders have attacked him as a super spokesperson of the BJP, with some reportedly even seeking action against him upon his return. But Tharoor, hitting back, said his words are being misrepresented and twisted. Even as this war of words continues, Congress leader Jairam Ramesh has likened terrorists to these MPs visiting many countries. Congress's senior leader said the MPs' delegation are roaming freely, quite like Pahalgam terrorists are. Are these mere ideological differences, or do they signal a deeper unease within the Congress of being unable to come to terms with Modi government's increasing action against Pakistan? Something that reminds them of the fact that they didn't act tough enough. Is Tharoor providing much needed intellectual counterpoint, or is he undermining his own party? The larger question also is the Congress sullying India's diplomatic outreach by putting terrorists and MPs on the same page, or is there more going on? We'll take that and more to our guests in just a bit. But first up, let me just repaint the picture as it has transpired. This all started when on his delegation trip, Tharoor said that 2016 surgical strikes were the first time India crossed the LOC in response to terror attacks coming from Pakistan. Congress's Udit Raj took offense to this statement and took to X to slam Tharoor for this, raking not just 1965 and 1971 wars, but adding that surgical strikes have been conducted during UPA time too. While Tharoor mentioned how even during Kargil war, India did not cross the LOC, emphasizing that India had always maintained restraint even during a war, Raj questioned how Tharoor could be so dishonest to his own party. Congress's Pawan Khera then sought to remind Tharoor of his own words in his book, Paradoxical Prime Minister, when the latter had slammed Modi-led government for trying to politicize the surgical strikes. Tharoor had written in his book, and I quote, and this is the excerpt that has been highlighted by Pawan Khera on his Twitter. Tharoor wrote, and I quote, "The shameless exploitation of the 2016 surgical strikes along the line of control with Pakistan and of a military raid in hot pursuit of rebels in Myanmar as a party election tool, something the Congress had never done despite having authorized several such strikes earlier," and on and on. In other words, Tharoor himself was critical of the fact that Modi government is politicizing these strikes and that these strikes have been conducted in the past. Congress was also quick to point out to statements by current External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar when he had said in 2016 that specific limited counter-terror operations were carried out across the LOC in the past too. But 2016 strikes were the first time that the government had made them public. Congress also pointed out to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's statement where he too had said that multiple surgical strikes took place during UPA tenure but were not used as vote-garnering exercises. Now, the relationship between Tharoor and Congress seems to have completely broken down now, given especially that Tharoor hit back at these latest attacks against him by calling congressmen zealots and trolls. Now, this is why the Congress is upset. They feel Tharoor's remarks are more pro-BJP and centre, while he could have maintained a line where he was nationalistic but not really batting for the centre. That these statements now are undermining the Congress's achievements, particularly when it comes to that LOC statement, and they contradict the party line, even possibly his own line from the past. So as this battle continues, this Congress versus Tharoor battle is becoming bigger and bigger. The question we ask also this: with Jairam Ramesh now equating these MPs, including his own MPs, and terrorists, is Congress very quickly losing the plot in what is turning out to be a credit fight?
Yes, I'm still wiping the egg off my face because I was the one person in the parliamentary debate who actually criticized the Indian position at the time.
For the first time, India breached the line of control, the Uri strike. That was already something we had not done before. Even during the Kargil war, we had not crossed the line of control. In Uri, we did.
Who's questioning all that I think our communication in charge has done? Sometimes in your enthusiasm when you are traveling abroad, you say things which may not be factually correct.
कांग्रेस का कर्तव्य क्या है? परिवार को पहले रखो, इसलिए थरूर जी पर अटैक कर रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान पर नहीं।
ये जो पहलगाम के आतंकवादी हैं, उन्होंने 4 आतंकी हमले कराए हैं 18 महीने में। आज वहाँ यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं, हमारे सांसद भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं और आतंकवादी भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं।
Let's go across to the guest joining us. Kaushal Kant Mishra is spokesperson of the BJP. Arshpreet Kadyal from the Congress party joining us. I'm also joined with Karan Verma, Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, and Major Sanjay Meston is a defense expert also with us. I do thank you all for your time. Arshpreet, I do begin with you. Terrorists भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं और हमारे सांसद भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं. Was this statement not unwarranted, equating the two, possibly going too far?
What's unwarranted is that the Bharatiya Janata Party is attacking the opposition for asking important questions. We ask a question, where are those 4 terrorists? It's been more than a month. 26 families await justice. They wait to be avenged. India demands action against those 4 terrorists. And when we ask you a question, you attack against us. You attack upon us. We have been demanding a special parliament session. You did not have it. We've been demanding Mr. Modi's presence in all party meeting. You have not done it. We have been demanding that the Bharatiya Janata Party please tell us, why is your minister calling Colonel Qureshi a daughter of terrorists? Why do you have, and now that the Bharatiya Janata Party is appreciating Dr. Tharoor, they might as well start with an apology in this debate for Mr. Modi's words, "Wah kya girlfriend hai, 50 crore ki girlfriend." They might as well agree with what Dr. Tharoor said in Paradoxical Prime Minister, where he said that the Bharatiya Janata Party shamelessly exploited 2016 surgical strikes. The Bharatiya Janata Party might as well appreciate where Dr. Tharoor wrote that there was the hot pursuit of rebels in Myanmar. That the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to use it as a party election tool. They might
but
as
Tharoor didn't question the Congress party. When you say that the Congress party is being attacked, who has attacked the Congress party?
The Bharatiya Janata Party is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Dr. Tharoor. I'm talking about the Bharatiya Janata Party now in another context, that since they have been appreciating Dr. Tharoor, they might as well agree with the certain points that he has made. And number 2,
I'll come to Shashi Tharoor in just a bit. But you were saying that Bharatiya Janata Party is questioning the Congress party, but I'm asking you about the statement that Jairam Ramesh has made. He equated parliamentary delegations, which include Congress leaders, almost in the same breath, very lightly comparing them to the terrorists who are guilty of Pahalgam attack. Why is that statement being made, I'm asking you, as a response to which attack? No parliamentary delegation has attacked the Congress party. The Prime Minister has not attacked the Congress party in context of Operation Sindoor or Pahalgam. So who are you responding to?
See, 2 answers to your question, Shivani. One, you're saying, who is this qua? It's regarding whom? The Bharatiya Janata Party's leaders. They have been condemning these questions. They've been condemning the demand of a special parliament session. They've been condemning these accusations.
But why compare terrorists to these MP delegations?
No. Answer your question. Now, that is not comparison.
Okay.
When we say that terrorists are roaming around, that is not comparison with our MPs. We are simply saying that you ought to nab them It's already been 1 month
Okay,
plus.
all right. You are
and-
saying
and-
it's not a comparison, but possibly
Definitely.
people would read it differently because Jairam Ramesh, I played the excerpt of that bite, and Kaushal Kant Mishra, I'm coming to you. Kaushal Kant Mishra, I'm coming to you. He is saying जैसे कि वो terrorists घूम रहे हैं, वैसे हमारे ये parliamentary delegates भी घूम रहे हैं. But Congress party maintains this is not a comparison.
कांग्रेस पार्टी अपने आप को एक्सपोज कर रही है. जयराम रमेश का स्टेटमेंट आपने अपने प्रोमो में भी चलाया, उसके बाद भी अगर कांग्रेस के स्पोक्स पर्सन और कांग्रेस के लोग नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं तो इसीलिए कांग्रेस को नाम बदल देना चाहिए. इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस की जगह इंडियन नेशनल कंफ्यूज पार्टी बता देना चाहिए, क्योंकि इन्हें पता ही नहीं है कि इन्हें क्या बोलना है. पहले कि तो ये समझना पड़ेगा कि जो डेलीगेट्स गए हैं दे आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग भारत, दे आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग ऑपरेशन सिंदूर. They are not the spokesperson of Congress or BJP. They are a spokesperson of India. But Congress is confused. If Mr. Tharoor is saying something, it brings basically incompetency, brings insecurity, and Congress is full of insecurity. Tharoor is performing very well, and that is why all the leaders of Congress are basically insecure. What they will do? Rahul Gandhi is missing. They ask how many Rafales are shut down. Priyanka Gandhi is always vanished whenever there is need of our Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, everybody is missing. So Congress is doing nothing, but they are demeaning the act of army, act of Operation Sindoor, and they are comparing the terrorist with their MPs, our India's MPs. What it means is the Congress party is terrorist party. They have to think about that, and they have to think before speaking anything. Jairam Ramesh is not a sadak chhap neta. He is not Udit Raj. Jairam Ramesh is a very senior leader of Congress, and if he says that, then the Congress have to really think deep what they need to do.
Ashpreet wants to come in. Yes, respond to what he's saying.
See, the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson said, is it Congress party supporting terrorists? I want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party, who is a Talib Hussain Shah, Tariq Ahmed Mir, Daroog Saxena, Balram Singh. These people, some of them had links with the ISI. Some of them had links with the Hizbul Mujahideen commander Naveed Babu. They were procuring weapons. Some of them had links with the Lashkar-e-Taiba. And the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to tell us, why should there not be an inquiry against you? And number two, when the Bharatiya Janata Party, Shivani, does all of this due to an agenda which is to divert attention. They do not want to answer questions as to why did the foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, give advance advice to
Pakistan. Ashpreet, they have already responded to this. They have already responded to this.
And
they have denied any of such charge. I don't know why you keep going back to it. But I want to stick to the issue we're discussing today. They have clarified. You are not convinced with it. That's a separate issue. We'll park that issue. But Ashpreet, I ask you one more time. You are saying the BJP is trying to divert the issue. Fair enough. You're asking certain questions. Fair enough. But when you make statements like these, that terrorists are also roaming and MPs are also roaming, upset with your own MPs, unfortunately. Does that bring the Congress party's focus onto the issues that you actually want to focus on, or actually deviate from your message too? Is it not undermining your own message?
The statement has brought even CNN to debate over this issue, right? That means
we were debating for the last 3 days also, sir.
No, but on this issue. Now we are finally talking about those 4 terrorists that...
We have talked about those 4 terrorists, but is it helping the Congress party equating those terrorists and MPs?
One second. Has Mr. Modi, has our Prime Minister even uttered a word over this as to why there's been such a massive delay? These terrorists that have carried out 4 different attacks, Poonch attack, Ganderbal attack, Pahalgam attack, another attack in Ganderbal.
I'll take your question to the BJP representative. So 1 second. Ashpreet, I'll take your question to the BJP representative. My question to you is, are these statements helping the Congress party?
These statements are helping the nation to have questions, to have answers from the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay.
Question of,
Mr. Mishra wants to come in. Mr. Mishra, why no responses to the questions that have been asked by the Congress party? Mr. Mishra, one by one, please. One by one, please.
As to why these 4 terrorists have not been nabbed
yet. Okay,
why
Mr. Mishra.
Delay? The country is
Ashpreet, you don't have to repeat the same thing over and over. We understood it. Mr. Mishra.
You were interrupting me then, that's why.
Ashpreet, आपके सिद्ध अर्शप्रीत, सिद्धारमैया आपके सीएम कैंडिडेट, वो बोलते हैं युद्ध नहीं होना चाहिए। तारिक हमीर कहते हैं कि हमें कूल रहना चाहिए। आरबी तिमारपुर, विजय ठेट्टीवार, पुलवामा के बारे में सुरजेवाला ने कहा कि ये तो होम ग्रोन टेररिज्म है। इस तरह के एक दर्जन स्टेटमेंट ऑपरेशन सिंदूर होने के बाद आपकी तरफ से दिए गए। उसके बाद अगर उस पर डिबेट होती तो आप कहते हैं कि बीजेपी पॉलिटिसाइज कर रही है। अरे भाई, आप लूज बॉल खेलोगे तो मीडिया तो पॉलिटिक्स आपके स्टेटमेंट को लाएगा ही और हम उस पर आपको खींचेंगे ही। इसमें नई बात क्या है यार? आप लोग गलत बॉल दोगे और आप उम्मीद करोगे। नहीं, मैं तो साफ बोल रहा हूं ना, मैं तो साफ बोल रहा हूं ना कि अगर जयराम रमेश जैसा लीडर, मीडिया आपके इश्यूज आपको एक्सपोज कर रहा है कि कांग्रेस कितना नीचे गिर गई है, वो देश के सिक्योरिटी के इशू पर मैं बोल तो रहा हूं, मैं तो सामने बोल रहा हूं ना कि मीडिया तो आपको एक्सपोज कर रहा है कि आप किस तरह कितना नीचे जा चुके हैं। आपके अरे भाई पॉलिटिक्स सबका, आप उसको जो चाहे वो सुनिए। मैं तो साफ बोल रहा हूं ना कि मीडिया प्लीज फिनिश आपके। अरे ये बीच में हर्षदीप जी अजीब सी बात करते हैं।
आप बोलिए अपना, प्लीज।
सब कंफ्यूज है। मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट है कि कांग्रेस के लीडर इस तरह के एब्सर्ड स्टेटमेंट देते हैं, उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली रिस्पांस होगा, उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली मीडिया में वो बात आएगी, उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली बीजेपी अपोज करेगी, क्योंकि अगर वो देश की बात है और अगर वो ये कहेंगे कि हमारे देश के एमपी, अरे साहब देश का सवाल है और आप अपने एमपी को बोले वो टेररिस्ट है। किस तरह की कांग्रेस पार्टी हो चुकी है? अपने एमपी को टेररिस्ट बताने के लिए तैयार है। आप कितना नीचे गिरोगे? आपके स्टेटमेंट को पाकिस्तानी, आप कौन होते हैं? राहुल गांधी का कहां है? जयराम रमेश के स्टेटमेंट को कंडेम करने के लिए राहुल गांधी को आना चाहिए। जयराम रमेश को स्टेटमेंट को कंडेम करने के लिए सोनिया गांधी, राहुल गांधी या प्रियंका गांधी को आना चाहिए। आप कौन होते हैं? Who are you? Are you ever the Jairam Ramesh?
No. He ought to apologize for it.
I am saying,
he ought to take back his words. He's weakening the party. He's weakening the country.
What
He's lowering the morale of the country.
Okay, I request both of you to just hold on. Just hold on. No, you are both catching on to each other's words and trying to, derail the entire issue that we're debating today. It's much more serious than this. If anybody is equating terrorists and the party delegations, MP delegations, then Ashpreet, that question goes to Jairam Ramesh. Because he's the one who's equated to two. Maybe he didn't mean it. But his statements have ended up equating the two. But I have to open this up to our other guests as well. The other big issue that we're debating today is how angry the Congress party is. Major Sanjay Meston, I'm coming to you with this because the Congress party is extremely angry that Shashi Tharoor said it was in 2016 for the first time that we crossed the LOC, something that we have respected even during wars. He talked about Kargil. But Congress party has given a whole reel of, evidences to suggest that these surgical strikes were conducted in the past too. Can you explain for the benefit of our viewers what is the difference that we're looking at here? Because yes, the army is on record to say that before 2016, such surgical strikes were not conducted. RTI reply says so. But there is a statement from S. J. Shankar saying, yes, limited counter-terror operations were done in the past too. So are they talking about two different kind of military operations? What's going on here?
Shivani, good evening. Just to inform you, my rank is Major General.
Major General, I apologize.
Yeah, not to worry. Anyway, see, it's a very contentious issue what is being discussed, but for me, I'm not a politician and a soldier's blood is in my veins. So I'll speak as a soldier.
Yes.
I've done 40 years in uniform and 4 tenures, different times in Kashmir and also in Nagaland. Now, it is basically wordings. In one case, it is being counted as surgical strike, but in other case, it's being counted as something else, which you referred to the foreign minister also stating. So in my armed forces career, firstly, we have not come across any politician. We work and function under a command system. It's a well-organized structure and each subordinate reports to the next senior. So we are really not in touch with the politicians. We are in touch only with our officers. And as a captain or as a major general, our hierarchy keeps changing. So I have myself done operations across. As a young captain, I've crossed. Okay. But those were not termed as surgical strike because they were small operations. But the fact of the matter is, the Indian Army has always been doing, irrespective of any government in power, we have been doing small operations at our own level, sometimes even at a company commander level or even as a young second lieutenant we have that liberty and no one has ever questioned or stopped us. That is point one. Secondly, I also must highlight, operations about Myanmar were mentioned. Way back in 1982, I remember a big operation was planned. And that time I was just a second lieutenant in 1982, and we had conducted this operation. Operation was known as Operation Yankee. The then Army Commander, Eastern Command General Vaidya was present. In Nagaland, he had come to brief us, and there were 2 battalions. My company was there. I was a second lieutenant. And they were para-SF, and we had gone inside Myanmar, same villages which were struck in 2017. Only difference is we had gone on foot. That time the people this time had gone in hectares. So we did but it was not known to the public. It was never known.
So when Mr. Tharoor says that in response to a terror strike, we have never done a reprisal of this sort, is he correct?
No, I'm not aware what did he state, but I'm just telling you about this operation in 1982. We had gone inside Myanmar.
Across the LOC along Pakistan. He's saying that my distinction is that
operations of
yes.
Minor operations we have done, very minor, limited operations. I told you at my level, at a commanding officer level, we have done whatever we wanted to do, which obviously we don't publicize for a lot of reasons. We have done whatever it is. Small scale intrusions have been done. We have knocked off Pakistanis, we have knocked off their post and come back. And similarly, sometimes they also do it, which is known as the bat action. But yes, such a big scale, that was done definitely in
for the first time in 2016. So I think there's just a difference of understanding. Both could be correct. But Karan Verma, do you think the Congress party should be so upset with Tharoor as they are today? It seems like there can be no rapprochement between the two. Mr. Tharoor will find it very hard to continue in the Congress party and vice versa. The Congress may not want him anymore.
So, Shivani, that's been the history of the Congress party. There's a reason why people like Himanta Biswa Sarma, people like Jyotiraditya Scindia have left this party. There's a reason why B.R. Ambedkar back in the day resigned, saying that I'm not happy with the foreign policy there. There's a reason why P.V. Narasimha Rao, his mortal remains, weren't even allowed to enter 24 Akbar Road. They have always disrespected people who've put national interest forward or who've had a respect across party lines, be it Pranab Mukherjee for that matter. Nobody turned for his Bharat Ratna. And what Jairam Ramesh today has done is playing into the hands of the Pakistanis. Anyways, Pakistan has been using Rahul Gandhi's statements as a matter of evidence in the United Nations. Can you imagine what can be more disgraceful for the Congress party? Their statements are picked up by our enemies. And what Jairam Ramesh has done today, the Congress spokesperson continued to deflect, but it's a shameful remark comparing our elected MPs to them. And they've done it from the word go. I mean, Shashi Tharoor gets it, Asaduddin Owaisi gets it, even Salman Khurshid gets it, but Rahul Gandhi and his ilk don't get it. There's a reason why Rahul Gandhi has lost 93 elections, because he doesn't understand nationalism. He doesn't understand when to forget petty differences and come together. Yes, there have been lots of statements which the Congress spokesperson pointed out that the BJP may not have agreed with Tharoor, but on national interests, we are one. That is what they don't get. They are still obsessed with kitne Rafale gire the. What an obnoxious statement to make when Operation Sindoor has been such a resounding success, a 20-0 success, where we've struck 11 air bases and 9 terror sites, but the Congress party doesn't get it. And that is why today they are reduced to political margins.
Syed Asad Abbas, whose loss is it really when the Congress party is seen at odds with its own former minister and current leader, MP? Whose loss is it really? Shashi Tharoor is not the one who is being seen as being petty in this case. The Congress party is coming across as petty, hitting out at its own leaders.
I'll share the fact with you, Shivani ji. Firstly, let me address this. Mr. Karan Verma, my dear friend, political analyst, said that Rahul Gandhi needs lessons in nationalism. Respected sir, who are you talking about nationalism? The man who lost his grandmother to terrorists? The man who lost his respective father to terrorists? Are you talking about lessons to nationalism to this man who's lost his family? Sir,
all the more you should be talking
You
sense.
need lessons on nationalism, sir. So you need lessons on patriotism from Rahul Gandhi. Now coming to the question, Shivani ji, question that you've asked. Ma'am, I've been a great follower and a fan of Mr. Shashi Tharoor. But today, let me be honest and tell on the face of Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Sir, you wrote the book Paradoxical Prime Minister. Today I call you the paradoxical member of parliament, and I have my reasons why. The same man who time and again criticizes, targets Modi in the book Paradoxical Prime Minister, he's taken pot shots of Modi ji on every front. And the same man is going gaga. The fact of the matter is today the Bharatiya Janata Party celebrates Shashi Tharoor as a hero. The same man they called the murderer of his wife today celebrates Shashi Tharoor. The same Mullah, Asaduddin Owaisi, where they call him Deshdrohi, today the BJP trolls on Twitter, on X, celebrate them as heroes.
So, Syed, don't you think on this issue, yes, Karan, I'll give you an opportunity as well, but Syed, don't you think that all of those differences aside, if Manish Tiwari, Salman Khurshid, Asaduddin Owaisi, Abhishek Banerjee, Shashi Tharoor can come out and say it's Kani Modi, Supriya Sule, no fans of the BJP. They're all staunch critics of the BJP politically. They fight for their survival against the BJP politically. If they all can come together and say, okay, for these 2 weeks, we're going to forget our differences, what's so wrong with that?
Fair point, Shivani ji. I completely admit to the point that you've made, Supriya Sule, be it Asaduddin Owaisi, Shashi Tharoor, Manish Tiwari, Salman Khurshid, all of them respectively undoubtedly be the Congress, BJP, anybody.
So what's making the Congress so uneasy?
Must and should stand with our country and with our integrity.
So standing with the country is being seen as contradicting the party line and going against the party line by the Congress party. That is what I'm differentiating between. Why should it be seen as going against the Congress?
The fact of the matter, I will answer you in 30 seconds. The fact of the matter is, I'm so glad that the respective Major General Sahab is here. Sanjay Sahab, I know, sir, you're an army man, and let me tell you, an army man like you who's fighting wars for us, sir, it doesn't matter BJP, Congress or any party. But the fact is, army men are fighting us. We politicians should not fight amongst ourselves.
No, that's not the answer to my question. You sidestepped the question. Okay, I have to give a final comment to both our other guests as well. Yes, Arshpreet was raising his finger. Yes.
See, number one, Dr. Tharoor has also uttered in his Paradoxical Prime Minister book, he said that despite several such strikes that have been carried out by the Congress party, never did the Congress party use it as a political tool. And number two, when will the Bharatiya Janata Party apologize for the obnoxious word was being used by my friend Karan? When would he use same remarks, same words for the statement that was made vis-a-vis Mr. Tharoor's wife? When will you start condemning that? And number two, I want to ask this to the Bharatiya Janata Party that you have talked about this. Just tell us answer one question of ours. Give us a date as to by when these terrorists will be nabbed.
ऐसे थोड़ा ना होता है Arshpreet. You can't ask for a date when a counter operation will be finished. Come on.
So should we not demand for them?
Do you not understand that question goes to the army and the soldiers? It's them who are engaged in these counter-terror operations. What do you mean? Give us a date. When are you going to get these terrorists?
1 second, answer your question. Now answer your question. Allow me 20 seconds. Now, when there is a strike by the army, the Bharatiya Janata Party says, give us credit. When 4 terrorists are not nabbed, it is not our fault. Army is to see.
Okay, fine. I'll take that to Mr. Mishra. All right. Brief time. Mr. Mishra, respond to this. If you get political credit, even if you ask or not, I'm not alleging that you're asking. Congress is alleging that you're asking. But if you get political capital because of a strong muscular policy, you will also then be asked political questions if you have failed in a counter-terror operation.
काउंटर टेरर ऑपरेशन में हम कितने सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं ये तो आप पूरा पाकिस्तान देख रहा है, पूरा वर्ल्ड देख रहा है। आज 3 कंट्री को छोड़ करके सारे कंट्रीज भारत के साथ खड़े हुए हैं। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अभी भी कंटिन्यू है। ये बात सही है, हम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेते हैं कि अभी 4 टेररिस्ट पकड़े नहीं गए, लेकिन आप देखिए जिस तरह की उनके कैंपों में तबाही मचा दी गई, उनके आकाओं की पूरी फैमिली साफ हो गई, 11 एयरबेस तबाह हो गए पाकिस्तान के, और हम वादा करते हैं कि वो टेररिस्ट कहीं भी छुपे हों उनको घर में घुस करके मारेंगे। और क्या चाहिए आपको? आप भूल गए दिल्ली में ब्लास्ट, सरोजनी नगर में ब्लास्ट, लखनऊ में ब्लास्ट, कानपुर में ब्लास्ट, आगरा में ब्लास्ट, हाईकोर्ट में ब्लास्ट, कहां ब्लास्ट है, कहां के टेररिस्ट आप ढूंढ पाए? पर जब काउंटर अटैक की बात हुई थी 26/11 के बाद, तो क्या कहा गया था कि पाकिस्तान के ऊपर हम आक्रमण करेंगे तो हमारे देश की जनता नाराज हो जाएगी, मुसलमान नाराज हो जाएंगे।
नहीं, एक के ऊपर एक मत बोलिए प्लीज।
सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक को आप अपनी सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक को इसलिए छुपाते थे क्योंकि आपको डर लगता था कि अगर सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक पाकिस्तान में करेंगे तो देश का मुसलमान गलत हो जाएगा, ये आप छुपाते थे। अरे यही तो मैं बोल रहा हूं ना, सच्चाई तो यही है।
Okay, limited time. Please don't speak over you. I request you, gentlemen. Gentlemen, limited time. Karan Verma, yes.
Arshdeep,
30 seconds.
Arshdeep, you don't have sense. Arshdeep, you don't
I'll
have
have to
sense.
reduce your fader, gentlemen. Please don't do this.
That's
Karan
what I
Verma,
said.
30 seconds I have for you. 30 seconds.
Okay. So firstly, the demand of where those 4 are is coming from a party, just so they know, which in 2010 released 25 dreaded terrorists as a goodwill gesture. They released Shahid Latif, who later masterminded and executed the Pathankot massacre. So the Congress party is actually in no position. Having said that, of course, the force should be caught, but their handlers sitting in Muridke and Bahawalpur have been attacked and justice has been served there. So that's a welcome gesture. And let's not nitpick on these statements. To my friend Abbas also. In Mahabharata, the lesson is it can be 5 versus 100 when it's internal. But when a nation is attacked, it's 105 versus the outsider. And that is what we need to imbibe here rather than nitpicking on what Tharoor ji said or what Modi ji said in the past.
All right. I have to leave it at that. I have to leave it at that. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Moving on, a recent ruling by the US Court of International Trade has blocked most of the tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. The court found that Trump exceeded his authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act by imposing these tariffs. Specifically, the court ruled that the tariffs were not justified under the emergency law and that the president does not have unilateral authority to impose such sweeping tariffs. The Trump administration has appealed the ruling and the case may eventually even reach the Supreme Court. But what has ended up making headlines in India is the assertion by the US admin that trade was used as a means to clinch the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. This is something the administration has said earlier too. US Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick made a submission to the US court hearing the tariffs issue that said that ceasefire between India and Pakistan was achieved after Trump interceded and offered both countries trading access to avert a full-scale war. It added that an adverse ruling on tariffs could threaten this ceasefire and thus the security of an entire region and millions of lives. With the US raking up this India-Pakistan ceasefire issue again, something that India has clarified on repeatedly, is Trump now crossing the line? That's coming up after this story.
On the 10th of May, it was the Pakistani army which sent a message that they were ready to stop firing, and we responded accordingly.
The issue of trade did not come up in any of these discussions. There were conversations between Indian and US leaders on the evolving military situation. The issue of trade or tariff did not come up in any of those discussions.
Has Donald Trump, or in other words, his administration, completely crossed the line to try and suggest that their trade tariffs are so important for geopolitical security that there could be a war that breaks out if he was to take it back? That question goes to our guest joining us. Harsh Daya is a political analyst. Mahima Singh of the Congress party will be with us in just a bit. Prabhu Dayal, former diplomat and Consul General of India in New York, is also joining us. Prabhu Dayal, I begin with you. What are we to read into this? I mean, this is just grandstanding of another level to use geopolitical considerations, which you wouldn't talk about openly, even if your version was to be believed, to fight a case on tariffs in courts?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. You know, we must analyze the circumstances in which the Trump administration made this claim. Their tariffs have been challenged in the US Trade Court in New York. And it has been challenged by a whole lot of traders. Several suits have been filed. And these traders say that their businesses are being impacted by the tariffs. Now, the Trump administration, while defending the tariffs, made this absurd claim that the president had used his tariff power to broker a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. And they also said that if these tariff powers were taken away and the court neutralized the administration's efforts, then the war between India and Pakistan could revive. So, as you pointed out, this claim by the Trump administration is bizarre, and we have placed it on record repeatedly that it was not the Trump administration which brought about the ceasefire, but rather we agreed to the ceasefire because of the fact that the Pakistanis on their knees begged for a ceasefire. The Pakistani DGMO called our DGMO and sought a ceasefire, and that's why we agreed. So
no, even the MP delegations that are going overseas, they've also pointed out to the nuance that yes, US spoke to us. Yes, US was speaking to Pakistan. Pakistan clearly raised an alarm with the US and begged them to intervene and use their good officers to impress upon India. But that is not mediation. But my question also to you, sir, is as a diplomat, don't you see this as threatening the relationship between India and US itself? Already Trump's comments have kind of derailed a lot of the goodwill that India and US had. Now even making these submissions to win some sort of a domestic trade war?
You know, there is a certain amount of desperation in the Trump administration because it finds itself cornered on this particular issue in the court, and the court has ruled against the Trump administration and said that the administration doesn't have the power to impose such tariffs, and that power only rests with the Congress. So the court, or the trade court in New York, has set aside all these tariffs. But of course, as you pointed out, the Trump administration has gone to appeal, and the matter could go up to the Supreme Court.
Right.
Now, how realistic are the policies of the Trump administration? How sincere is the Trump administration? I think everybody has begun to see through all these policies. Everybody realizes that it's pure convenience and that Trump is not anybody's friend. And while he had called our Prime Minister a very close friend, his policies have been otherwise. He has tried to hit us in a variety of ways. And this particular attempt to take the credit for bringing about the ceasefire between India and Pakistan has been dismissed as complete rubbish fire.
No, absolutely. Talking to someone is not mediation. This is something that not just Indian government has said, but even our delegation overseas are talking and taking this message. Mahima Singh of the Congress Party is also joining us. Mahima Singh, are you still going to take Donald Trump's words for it, or are you going to believe what the Indian MEA and government have said on this entire theory of how US pushed trade to bring about the ceasefire? I must point out, though, that Donald Trump hasn't actually spoken to anyone in India during this period when the tensions were high between India and Pakistan. So how did he intervene and how did he use trade?
Jai Hind, I believe, Shivani, you are asking the wrong person, but I think the question is right. I think you should ask the External Affairs Minister, some spokesperson of the External Affairs Ministry, or some spokesperson of the government, which seems absent on the show. I don't see a BJP spokesperson.
I'm asking you because Congress has been raising this issue. So I want to get your view.
Allow me my opportunity to respond. I've just begun, and I just said the question is right. Only you're asking a wrong person, because we are the ones who came to back this government unconditionally on the very night of the whole disaster that happened in our country, on our countrymen, at behest of this government, I would say, because where did the loopholes lie? I think that is what needs to be looked into. The question that you are asking is much, much, much secondary. We have been asking questions ever since the BJP handlers tweeted on the morning of 9th June, Yachna nahi ab ran hoga. Before that, we were unconditionally backing them. We had chosen to keep silent. and not ask questions at that point in time. But when they started playing politics, when they started putting out life-size images of Mr. Modi dressed up in army
No,
uniform,
ma'am, you're not talking about the subject. Congress has
how
repeatedly
did
raised the
terrorists
issue of the ceasefire. I want to take your view first before I go across to Harsh as well. Are you again going to insist that Donald Trump is right when he is claiming this in US courts, or do you stand with the Indian government's version?
Shivani, it's your show and you are free to place your questions the way you want to. But you have invited me as a Congress spokesperson. Allow my wisdom to, prevail when I am answering the question. And I am saying, number one, you don't have a BJP spokesperson. I believe it would have been more appropriate to have this debate where you have.
Ma'am, you've made that point. Can I please get the answer I'm looking for?
Now, no, the answer you are looking for, the question is misplaced. That's what I'm saying. That you're not asking how did those terrorists who were out on the loose for 18 months get into the boundary?
Ma'am, I've done a debate on that.
Where are those terrorists today?
I'm sorry, I've done a debate on that. You know I'm debating tariffs issue and the US government's assertion. I cannot keep doing this because you want me to ask a certain question, ma'am. Please understand this. I've given you an opportunity to respond on the Congress's allegation that the US mediated this ceasefire. Do you have something to say on that?
Shivani, this is all interconnected and you cannot look at it in isolation. I would say you must rather also ask, did those planes army planes of the US not land in our motherland one after the other when Mr. Modi was there? And the Indian media was boasting that Trump has pulled a chair for Mr. Modi. You were taking him so seriously. Today you are asking who has he spoken with. Well, that is for the government officials to answer.
For the government to answer then. Okay.
He says Mr. Trump has spoken 8 times in 11 days and Mr. Modi has kept silent, and that dumbfounded silence on Mr. Trump's claims and on where those 4 terrorists are today is absolutely worrisome, and we shall not take it.
The Prime Minister on May 12th had said that the understanding of the ceasefire was arrived at after Pakistan pleaded for a ceasefire. This is what the Prime Minister has said. I'm sure all of our guests and viewers are aware of the other statements that the MEA, etc. have made. But the Donald Trump assertion, the administration's assumption, continues to make India look bad. Harsh, we cannot shy away from that reality either. Something has gone horribly wrong as far as the US messaging is concerned.
Shivani, what I feel is that Trump administration and Trump himself is playing to the domestic politics of United States and to his voters. Whatever theatrics that he is pulling out at the moment, they are not for the international, media or international other countries per se. Those are specifically for the domestic voters which are voting for him. He's catering to them. He's sending message to his voters that he's strong on these diplomatic relations. He is a peace broker. And what I also feel is that, he's trying to eye a Nobel Peace Prize because he feels, why should Obama have all the fun? So with all these theatrics that he's pulling out, and Prabhu Dayalji rightly pointed out, the Trump administration's claims are laughable and bizarre completely.
But has the Indian government managed to sufficiently counter these claims?
No, I'm coming to that. So when they say that, they were able to broker a peace deal between India and Pakistan with these trade talks, had it been so easy with these trade talks, why are they not able to pull out a similar thing with Ukraine and Russia war? Why are they unable to pull out something of this sort for Palestine and Israel as well? And, with their own kind of war going on with Iran, I wouldn't call it a war, but their diplomatic strained relations with Iran. Had trade been such a potent tool for reaching ceasefire between countries or brokering peace between countries, then they would have done in other cases as well. This is bizarre. And I don't think it has any substance to it. And the Indian government has clearly countered that there were absolutely no talks with the USA in terms of the ceasefire that was reached with Pakistan. It was Pakistan's DGMO that directly reached out to Indian military's DGMO and asked for a ceasefire after we attacked their military installations after what Pakistan was doing, and also the terror camps that we attacked in Pakistan.
Okay. So, what does this do to Indo-US relationships then, Prabhu Dayal? One is defense-wise, I think we've been given a reminder that we do not really want to be too close to US defense equipment-wise. a stark reminder has come to all Indians. Secondly, this could, I mean, I know that the US bureaucracy and administration is more of a continuum whether Trump stays or not, but this could seriously hamper the growing strategic partnership between the two countries.
Well, first of all, let me say that President Trump has a policy which is transactional in nature. He tries to give you something but wants something very big in return. Now, what does he want from India? Let me put it very bluntly. Trump sees India as a very big market for defense equipment. The United States is the world's biggest exporter of defense equipment. India is the world's biggest importer. And therefore, what the US administration wants is to sell high quality, expensive weaponry to India. Now, we don't want that. We want transfer of technology. We are increasingly indigenizing defense production. In fact, BrahMos missiles and Akash Tir, which did so well in the process of the Operation Sindoor and the retaliation against Pakistan's escalatory tactics, these are indigenously made. And we are not in favor of buying these expensive weapons. So the Trump administration wants to increase insecurity in our neighborhood because he feels that way we might be persuaded to buy equipment. Okay. So Trump's policy is market expensive weapons to India. If India agrees to buy them, very good. India is a good country. If it doesn't, let us pressurize India in every possible manner.
No, also into focus is his deal that has been done on the Pakistani side that happened post the Pahalgam attack, but before the tensions between India and Pakistan became what they became, or before the initiation of Operation Sindoor. So, is this all about business, and is that really the message that Trump is sending us? But what should be Indian government's appropriate response? Mahima Singh, I'm coming to you with this. What would you like to see the Indian government do, say, to put this to rest?
See, first of all, I was listening to Mr. Dayal very carefully, and I am in resonance with what he's saying to a large extent. And when it comes to, the point of transfer of technology, yes, when we were buying Rafale, when the UPA government was striking that deal, it included the transfer of technology. That is a critical question that we continue to ask Mr. Modi's government. They have failed to answer. Why did they, close the deal at a much higher price without transfer of technology? So one is that, Shivani. And second, I would definitely, say to you when you ask me, what would we like? We have been asking for a special parliament sessions, so that we can all come together with a unanimous strategy to deal with this. We can, the critical questions can be asked. But before that, Mr. Modi, who went out and said, "Ab ki baar Trump Sarkar," in whose name Havans were conducted all across the country, he needs to come out and give a clear message like a Vishwaguru should. He's a self-proclaimed, self-styled Vishwaguru. Why doesn't he just come out and say that enough, Mr. Trump? That is not how you're going to, talk about India. With world leaders laughing on world stages, like we saw in Riyadh, like Miss Indira Gandhi when 71 happened, you would remember, Shivani, and how Nixon tried to badmouth India. But Mrs. Gandhi wrote a very stern letter to him, very strongly worded letter to him, like the Prime Minister of the strongest, the largest democracy of the world should. So, Mr. Modi, we urge you as my Prime Minister, as our Prime Minister, please come out and give it to him the way it should be given by India, the power that we are, that we truly are, that we have been.
I'm going to give the other two guests 30 seconds both each to respond. Prabhu Dayal was raising his finger, but I do sense that maybe the Congress party does not want to question whether US mediated the ceasefire openly anymore. They're changing their line slightly. Mahima Singh can disagree with me, but I think that is what I'm sensing right now on the show. But yes, Prabhu Dayal, you were raising your finger.
Well, I'm politically neutral, but I just want to correct one small point.
Yes.
When Prime Minister Modi spoke at the Howdy Modi rally in Houston, what he said was that Trump supporters within the Indian American community, while campaigning for the Republican Party, had said, "Ab ki baar Trump ki sarkar." So in other words, it's not that Prime Minister Modi was saying "Ab ki baar Trump sarkar," but that this slogan had been used by Indian Americans
other campaign strategists. Fair enough. Anyways, that's water under the bridge. Harsh, I have final 20 seconds. Harsh, is this making the Trump-Modi bonhomie look bad? 20 seconds, please, sir.
Shivani, not taking away what relationship Modi and Trump have between them, the fact remains that Trump is not a reliable partner for any of the countries or any of the leaders worldwide. If you see the US situation, US has been, Canada has been a reliable partner of US, and so have been the NATO countries. But if you see Trump's stance on both Canada and NATO, it is haphazard. Like if NATO and Canada can't depend on Trump administration, then how can India depend on
fair enough. I've run out of time, but I do thank you for pointing that out. No one can deny that Trump deals a little bit with a heavy hand, but where that hand falls, you never really know. But we leave you with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's reiteration today of India's commitment to get back Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. He emphasized that the people living in POK are considered a part of the Indian family and expressed confidence that one day they will voluntarily return to India.
तो आतंकवाद का कारोबार चलाना कास्ट इफेक्टिव नहीं है, बल्कि उसकी एक भारी कीमत अदा करनी पड़ सकती है। इसका अनुमान आज पाकिस्तान को हो चुका है। हमने पाकिस्तान के साथ अपने इंगेजमेंट और स्कोप ऑफ डायलॉग को रीकैलिब्रेट किया है। अब जब भी बात होगी, केवल आतंकवाद पर बात होगी, पीओके पर बात होगी और किसी दूसरे मुद्दे पर पाकिस्तान के साथ बात नहीं होगी। पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर के लोग वो हमारे अपने हैं, हमारे परिवार का हिस्सा हैं और हमें यह पूर्ण विश्वास है कि हमारे वो भाई जो आज हमसे भौगोलिक और राजनीतिक रूप से अलग हैं, वो भी अपने स्वाभिमान, आत्मा की आवाज़ और स्वेच्छा से भारत की मुख्य धारा में कभी न कभी जरूर वापस लौटेंगे।
88 hours of justice delivered.
9 terrorist camps were targeted and successfully destroyed.
Winged furies that broke the back of terror. A cold message that India would take it no more. Watch the most definitive account of Operation Sindoor as it unfolded, as India changed the face of war that brought Pakistan to its knees.
Operation Sindoor, ये सिर्फ नाम नहीं है.
Inside Operation Sindoor, 88 hours that redefined India.
This is The Drive.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
So we have seen a court filing in which the Trump administration has claimed that because of the tariff threat that India-Pakistan were able to have that ceasefire understanding. What is India's stance on that court filing?
Okay. Madhu?
सर मधुरेंद्र मैं न्यूज नेशन से। सर ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के ठीक बाद अब ये देखा जा रहा है कि पाकिस्तान के जो आतंकी हैं, खासतौर पे लश्कर तैयबा के आतंकी, जिनकी प्रमुख भूमिका जो है पहलगाम आतंकी घटना में रही, वो भारत विरोधी मंच सजा रहे हैं, वहाँ से भारत को धमकियाँ दी जा रही हैं और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि उनके साथ पाकिस्तान की सेना की सुरक्षा दिखाई दे रही है, पाकिस्तान के मंत्री दिखाई दे रहे हैं। इस पर क्या इंडिया रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहेगा?
Sir, Pranay Upadhyay from India Today Aaj Tak. My question is regarding the 3 Indians who are missing in Iran, and this is yet another incident in last few months with Indians have gone missing, and there have been ransom calls. Is government of India aware about the fact that the ransom calls have been made from Pakistan and people have been asked to deposit money in Pakistani accounts? How are we taking up this issue, and what is the response from the Iranian side?
Okay. Yeshi?
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. I have two questions. One is on the uncertainty and instability in Bangladesh. There was talk of Professor Yunus submitting his resignation, then he had an all-party meeting. Is that a point of concern? And secondly, you had mentioned in the last briefing that there is no update yet on whether PM Modi will go for the G7. But with the new Prime Minister, is there likelihood of restoration of diplomatic ties? What is the situation between India and Canada right now?
Okay, so पहला सवाल उमा शंकर आपका है. देखिए, जहाँ तक हमारी जो द्विपक्षीय बातचीत या संबंध या जो एंगेजमेंट है पाकिस्तान के साथ, उस पे हमारा पक्ष, हमारा रवैया बड़ा साफ है, क्लियर रहा है, कंसिस्टेंट रहा है. जैसे हमने पहले भी बताया कि कोई भी इस प्रकार का द्विपक्षीय संबंध दोनों देशों के बीच में सिर्फ और सिर्फ बायलैटरल या कि दो पक्षीय ही रहेगा. साथ ही साथ हम ये फिर से दोहराना चाहते हैं कि आतंकवाद और बातचीत दोनों साथ में नहीं चल सकता है. और जहां तक आतंकवाद का सवाल है, उस पे बात इस मुद्दे पे होगी एक पाकिस्तान से कि जो हम लोगों ने उन आतंकियों का सूची जो दिया था उनको कुछ साल पहले, उनको हमारे हवाले करें. इस बात का मैंने जिक्र पिछले जो प्रेस वार्ता हुआ था उसमें भी किया था. और जहां तक जम्मू कश्मीर का सवाल है, उस पे जो बातचीत होगी द्विपक्षीय रूप से, जो बायलैटरल ढंग से ही बात होगी, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ इस बात पे होगी कि पाकिस्तान ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर यानी कि पाकिस्तान अधिकृत कश्मीर को कब का जो पाकिस्तान उसको इलीगल तरीके से, अवैध तरीके से उस पर कब्जा करके बैठा हुआ है, वो उस पर बात होगी कि कब वो उसको खाली करेगा अपना अवैध तरीके से उस पर जो कब्जा है उसको. और जहां तक सिंधु जल संधि का, इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी का सवाल है, जैसा कि मैंने पहले भी कहा है और फिर मैं दोहराना चाहता हूं कि जब तक पाकिस्तान विश्वसनीय तरीके से अपना जो गतिविधि है आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने का, उसको जब तक नहीं खत्म करेगा, तब तक ये संधि जो है अबेंस में यानी कि स्थगित रहेगा. जैसा कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा अपने वक्तव्य पे, और उसको मैं दोहराना चाहूंगा कि आतंकवाद और बातचीत दोनों साथ में नहीं चल सकता. आतंकवाद और व्यापार साथ में नहीं चल सकता है, और पानी और खून दोनों साथ में नहीं बह सकता. I would again reiterate this. We have been very clear and consistent in our position. I have said this in the previous presser last week, as also on the press engagement that we had on 13th of May. Our position in regard to Pakistan, in regard to engagement with Pakistan, has been clear and consistent. You are well aware of our position that any India-Pakistan engagement has to be bilateral. At the same time, we are clear that talks and terror don't go together. On terrorism itself, we are open to discussing the handing over to India of noted terrorists whose list was given to Pakistan some years ago. I would like to underline that any bilateral discussion on Jammu and Kashmir will only be on the vacation of illegally occupied Indian territory by Pakistan, and on the Indus Water Treaty, it will remain in abeyance until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism, as the Prime Minister has said, and would like to repeat his words. Terror and talks cannot go together. Terror and trade cannot go together, and water and blood cannot flow together. Siddhant, you had a question regarding the court filing in the United States. I hope you've seen the court order as well. Our position on this particular issue that you mentioned has been well articulated. I would refer you to our position that was made clear on 13th of May. From the time Operation Sindoor commenced on 7th May till the understanding on cessation of firing and military action on 10th May, there were conversations between India, Indian and US leaders on the evolving military situation. The issue of trade or tariff did not come up in any of those discussions. External Affairs Minister has also made clear that the cessation of firing was decided upon through direct contacts between the DGMOs of India and Pakistan. So that should answer your question. मधु, आपका सवाल देखिए.
Namaste, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan and we've got news coming right at the top. There is an app called Red Note. This is a Chinese app. This is active in the northeast of Bharat. And this app is spreading anti-Bharat content. That's the news. These are intel reports which are red flagging this app. It's by the name of Red Note. It's increasing China's propaganda in states in the northeast of Bharat. This app is misleading youth with fake documents and fake videos. This is a Chinese social media app, Red Note, highly active and influential in northeast of our country, particularly in regions of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Assam, and some parts of Mizoram and also Sikkim. So almost